So I actually don't know if the new stuff are on. And yeah, here they are. Okay, here they are. So we have some new photos for fun old school after hours renders. So, we have some stuff from obviously canon Walten Files lore. So the first one is a really cool one. This is obviously Felix and Jack, as you can see as well. We have Rose and Susan in the background as well. I am really intrigued to see how this will look in game. I do like how realistically it really is cool the way how this looks in game because it actually looks pretty identical to how they look in the series and stuff. So I do like how that looks. I'm pretty sure Edge made this one specifically, so that's really really cool in my opinion. Overall, I think they look really really good. The textures look amazing. They really remind me of like the old school story games. You get like Simpsons Hit and Run and Crash Bandicoot, like those old games. But the next one, of course, we have is this one. So this is obviously Jack and Rose, Felix and Susan, Charles and Chris. That's an interesting one because Chris is known to be a really important character. I'm pretty sure in the series, but we just don't ever really see him. It's a weird one. So with Chris, it's a very, very weird character because we genuinely don't know what he's gonna do. We don't know what his role really is. It seems that After Hours has kind of cast him as like an employer of Bond's Burgers, like one of the higher ups, I guess. Like obviously he's mentioned during Brian's scene in '82, which is intriguing. Which means that Chris is probably involved with Felix in some way. Who knows? Chris could be in on it. You just never know. I hope we do find out it's something to do with Chris in the future because realistically, we know nothing. We just know he exists and that's about it. I do feel like he'll have close affiliation with Felix though, judging on the fact of like if we put into perspective him being as an employer possibly in episode one with Brian. We have him loading the animatronics to K9 in episode 2. So there's a lot of things in there that could really further Chris being involved with Felix in some way. So you just never know. But let me know your opinions in the comments below on who Chris might be. I'd love to hear your opinions on that. Of course, we got my boy Charles here. I love how this looks. I love it. Charles looks awesome. Especially in the trailer when we got the kind of Charles kill scene with the Charles face all over the cake. That's a really interesting visual in my opinion. I think it looks really really cool. Just in general, I think Charles looks great. Looks very like Charles, as much as you can possibly get like him in fairness. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out in game because it feels like to me we're gonna get more of the story based of the Walton Files in those VHS tapes that we can collect. So that's gonna be interesting. But when it comes to the actual models and stuff, I'd say we're gonna see these in terms of the kill scenes, like we saw the moose head in the trailer. We saw Rosemary turning into or not sheep, Wonderland sheep, kind of like really really fast. So there's loads of different things that kind of involve the OG crew and the canon crew. And then we have, in my opinion, the coolest teaser of the lot. We have Bond in the background with Rosemary, and I'm sure Bond is out to beautify Rosemary right there. So I think that looks awesome. I really just think it looks really cool. Rosemary looks exactly how Rosemary should look, with a really tired face, really like drained emotion in her face. I really, really do like that. Because in general, that's how Rosemary is. Rosemary seems to be really drained, really, really tired, just overall really ridiculously drained. I mean, that's the best way you can describe Rosemary is just mentally traumatized. And I feel like this image of Rosemary is just simply just her eyes look perfect in that sense. So I do like that. Also, I like the way that Bond's kind of in the background, kind of with a red tint. I do like that as well. In my opinion, this is the coolest render of the lot. I love how these look. They really do remind me of Murder House. If you haven't played Murder House, go play it. I absolutely adore that game. Low key, it's in my top 5 games of all time in terms of horror games, 100%. So if you like Murder House, I feel like you're really gonna like this game. I do like as well. Soapy in chat has pretty much summed my next opinion up completely. The fact you can customize your own character in the game, I really like that. There's something about that that really gives this sense of originality about it. it gives a sense of emotion about it as well, because it'd be really cool to see if like if you die in the game, let's say there's a hardcore mode, you can die and then you have to remake a whole nother character and you can't use those same face molds and stuff. I think that'd be really, really cool. But just overall, I like how Bondsburgers After Hours is gonna be this sort of sense of where we're not gonna get like just a canon story. We're gonna get our own little story, and we can piece together the canon story, not necessarily canon, but the Bondsburgers After Hours canon story in our own choice. Like we can go and collect those VHS tapes if we want. We don't have to, but like realistically, I think it's gonna be a sense where we're gonna have to 100% complete this game. 100 million%, we are completing this game on the channel. Same with Secret of the Mimic, I'll 100% that as well. Bear in mind, before Secret of the Mimic comes out, I will be doing a marathon of all the FNAF games. Completing them, I don't know, because I'm during exam season right now. So I don't know if I'll be able to complete them all, but I'll do my best to complete definitely the Steel Wool games. So Ruin and Security Breach for definite. Does anyone actually know how much Secret of the Mimic is going to be? Has that been released? How much it's going to cost? Does anyone actually know how much Secret of the Mimic is going to cost? I'm actually curious. I actually don't know if that's out or not. But yeah, I'll be really interested to see how that plays out. But when in terms of Bonds Burgers After Hours, I think that still looks really, really cool. Definitely my favorite teaser being the Rosemary one. Overall, though, I think they look great. I really, really do think they look great. Felix looks so much like Felix in a way. Like, not even just the fact he looks like him, just the facial expression. It's just so like how Felix is. Jack's this joyous, family man that has everything, and Felix loses everything. You know what I mean? He loses his wife, loses his head, his like mental state and stuff like that. So I do like how that is. I think it's really, really cool the fact that in general Felix is like very emotionally like Felix. Because I think that's what you have to get right is the emotions. Because don't get me wrong, you can get someone's voice and it can have emotion. Like if I'm talking like this, like, oh yes, it was so sad, it was so. But if I'm like completely stone faced, you're not gonna get that same emotional hit as you would if they're like really emotional in the face as well. So I do think in general that the fact that Jack has this really jumpy, joyous face compared to Felix's like down and more stubborn look is really, really good because it depicts Felix and Jack's personality clash completely. Because in general, this is obviously before Ed and Molly. So if you look at it this way, this is probably, before that, and then the personalities just switch. We see that Jack is like obviously joyous, and as soon as Ed and Molly happens, he becomes really aggressive and impulsive, while Felix is more, not even laid back, just more of a sort of like apologetic sense as well. So the way we're getting that kind of comparison and context and contrast, sorry, is really, really cool in my opinion. But I think that looks great. Even like the 10 p.m., like the outside of Bond's Burgers looks incredible. I really do think that. I think it looks amazing. I love how the models look. I love how the actual location looks. In general, I think it looks amazing. So yeah. Um, this game looks so sick, man. I know it's great. Probably the same as Security Breach on release. If it's the same as Security Breach, that's valid. But I think it's gonna be a little longer than that. Sorry, I'm a little late. Hey, what's good, Varessa? Don't be worrying if you're late. It's all good. If I had to take a guess, the price probably same as Security Breach. Very valid, very valid. Will you stream Deltarune? I personally don't know what that is. I'm assuming that's the Undertale sequel. That's my guess. I don't know. Oh, speak of the devil, here's MSP. 2 hours. What do you mean 2 hours, Spee? Spee, what do you mean 2 hours? Oh my god, Spee, you gave me a heart attack. I thought you were gonna say there's something releasing in 2 hours. I was like, what more is there to release? Oh my lord, the game is gonna be like 2 hours. That's chill, man. That's actually good. That's really good. That is all that's that's awesome. 2 hours. So that's actually really good considering most like FNAF games and stuff like that. FNAF fan games, I mean, are like roughly an hour. The only ones I can think are like longer than that are like Joy Creation, um, Like most of the sit and like point and click games are like an hour roughly max. So this being 2 hours with exploration stuff like that, I'm assuming those 2 hours are for story. So there's no way 100% is only 2 hours. I think 100% would be like 4, which is really good because I think Into the Pit was like 3-4 hours for Into the Pit. So that's really really good. That is awesome. I love the way we got runtime. Thank you, Speed. Speed always providing the little hints and tricks for the future of the game. I love that, dude. That's awesome. I cannot wait to play this game. It's gonna be so peak.
First shot of this episode. Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.